Hey there, my name's Hypno Jojo, and today we are offering you a daily collective energy update, I want to say, or just a channeled message, whatever it is that comes through while I'm sharing with you personally today. Let it be, let it be. I just want to first and foremost say thank you for all of my new subscribers. Welcome in. If you are just now seeing me for the first time, this has no order. It has no particular routine. There is no specific scheduled day for messages to come through, but I do try to stay consistent, at least posting 5 times a week. So that way you get some content and also receive some form of spiritual growth in a way that's right for you. All that being said, take what resonates, leave behind what doesn't. I'm not here to prophesize or preach or make you feel like what I'm offering you has to be taken as the truth and nothing but the truth. Everything that I offer is based off of my own experience and also comes from a place of absolute love with the positive or the most highest intention being that people who watch this are drawn to it naturally. Source, spirit sends this video to them in some way or another. And everything that happens as a result is a direct reflection of that soul, that person watching this video, any video really, and choosing to make positive changes in their life on their own. Not because I'm telling them to, but more so because they feel internally that it's time to make some changes. And whatever that looks like for you, take it slow and steady is one of the biggest things I want to mention here is taking spiritual growth seriously can feel overwhelming. It can feel like you're supposed to be one place or another at any given time. And we do that often because we compare ourselves to what people are putting out on social media of this profound revelation they've had or anything that is making them so excited and tackling life now. And we see that and forget that that's their journey, right? There's a specific way in which they accomplish that, and maybe we can allow that to translate over to our personal journey, our personal life, but it doesn't mean that their timeline is our timeline. And everything that we personally have experienced is meant to be taken seriously to the extent of letting growth happen where it's meant to happen. And you might be wondering, how can you take each part of the journey that seriously where you're just letting growth happen where it's meant to happen? It's almost in a sense of letting two things be true at the same time, taking yourself seriously but not taking it seriously at all, because genuinely or honestly or whatever you want to say it is, we are just experiencing this life as a soul having a human experience. And at any given time, we could be on our way out. We could transition into the next phase of our life evolutionary journey. And knowing that, you have to take each day as it comes and take each moment as it comes. Be willing to make mistakes, be willing to experience the highs and the lows, and knowing that this moment in time, yes, it contributes to your overall development spiritually, but is it something to lose yourself about or cry over spilled milk about, whatever the metaphor may be for you? Absolutely not. And it's very easy for us to get caught in that experience of losing oneself, especially when we look at our timeline on any social media platform and see that it's nothing but doom and gloom on the outside. This isn't to say that we shouldn't be mindful of what's going on outside of ourselves, but what I am mentioning is the fact that we take that so seriously where it impacts our ability to show up for ourselves emotionally, spiritually, on the day to day, outside of what somebody else contributes to us. Even if you're in a relationship or you find yourself managing a family or the head of the family, or you have other people in your community that you directly impact through your actions, or vice versa, you have to still be mindful that you're the only person that goes to sleep at night living with the consequences that you directly made for yourself, the choices that you made for yourself. And more so, you have to wake up the next day dealing with those experiences, dealing with those emotions that come and go, and learn to manage them on your own without the outside help of anybody else. So, in the capacity where we do have tools and resources, and we do have people that can, allow us to react and respond in certain ways, ultimately, this whole experience lies within your own hands, which is why I say often take what resonates, leave behind what doesn't. Now, some of you may be sitting there going, okay, yeah, I get all that, and I understand why you might mention that. But for the person who is just now watching this for the first time and is starting their spiritual journey, I want to offer an opportunity for them to get caught up to speed, or at least, feel some kind of level of responsibility and accountability for themselves as we're navigating this spiritual experience, right? This human experience at that, too. All that being said, I don't claim to have all my shit together. I don't have all my shit together. I still wake up every day and I allow things on my Facebook and my Instagram and my threads and the news feed and whatever to slightly skew the way that I emotionally feel about myself on the day to day. It's sometimes unavoidable. But again, the point of what I'm getting to, or the root of all of this, is knowing that we have an opportunity to center and ground ourselves in a way that is right for us and in a way that is just mindful of the fact that we have to take accountability for our experience here. We have to be willing to make choices that align with our needs, that align with our overall sense of security. And that can vary from person to person. So, again, making sure that you don't compare yourself to other people is vital in this experience because it may limit your capacity to show up for yourself unintentionally. Now, all the basics out the way, or not even the basics, but just the general hope or understanding of where we should be at for ourselves personally. I've found myself in the past couple of days and in the past couple weeks, really, contemplating and reevaluating for myself what it is that I truly desire to pursue professionally. Now, you see me on here offering love and inspiration and guidance and just sharing from the heart because that is what I feel called to do and that is what I enjoy doing as a quote unquote pastime, or as what I feel called to do as a light worker, a star seed, standing in my own power. But we also acknowledge that we have other responsibilities to this game of life. And in those responsibilities, it includes having a career, having a means of paying the bills, having a way to societally grow and climb the ladder, so to speak. And depending on which community you belong to or identify with, that may look differently than, say, your next door neighbor or, the person that lives in another state or country than you. And knowing that we all have our personal belief system set in place and we all have our personal upbringing that impacts the way that we view and perceive the world, we also come to understand that there are different careers or professions that we closely align to because it feels like we're living some sort of purpose or living some kind of or following through on our deepest dreams, wishes, hopes, and aspirations from. Whether you are a nurse or a teacher or just someone who is currently pursuing being a barista. And there is no level ranking on that. There are, as long as you are living your purpose or you're living out what you feel is right for you, then there is no level, there's no hierarchy of who's better than who. But whether or not you're doing any one of those jobs or none of them at all, you have chosen that profession or you are considering that profession because it lights you up. It makes you feel good when you're doing it. And when it relates to me, and what I was getting at is just the fact that for so long, I've been in this contemplative state of what do I do? What is my title? And how do I accomplish receiving that title? A lot of my experience as a gay black man has been rooted in the expectation that I need to overperform, that I need to make sure that all my ducks are in a row, plus some, so that way I can be hired for just the very basic of tasks due to systematic or it's institutionalized racism or systematic oppression, right? Whatever it may be in your case, in your region. And growing up with this message that black people are not trustworthy or that they're irresponsible or that they are thug like or that they are unintelligent also played a role in the way that I pursued my professional career. And there were many other black men out there like me who were sitting there pondering, asking themselves, or just people of color in general, who are pondering, asking themselves, okay, what do I do? And add in the extra layer of understanding or acknowledging that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Where do we fit in? And in what capacity are we going to be able to make money and be successful and feel like we are contributing to society, in addition, being accepted and valued and loved by society, when we already have this baseline level of understanding and awareness that not many people accept us and love us and appreciate us for just of the color of our skin or just because of, our demographic and where we grew up. So, of course, for me, this has played a lot on how I view myself, what level of confidence I have when it comes to engaging in social arenas and when it comes to showing up online. Because my understanding is that there are already people that don't like me, and I'm already extra weird for some people because I'm a spiritual practitioner and a light worker and a star seed or whatever it is that you want to tag on to me. And I have to also make money and I have to figure it all out and I have to, show people that I'm who I say I am plus some. So one can only imagine that with all this on their plate, at least for me, all on my plate, so it feels like, the pressure is real. The pressure is on. The heat is on. The mental challenges, the emotional challenges that I have to or I have had to overcome has been insurmountable. I hope that fits in the context. It does, so I'm hearing. And for some people, it feels insurmountable as well. Where am I going with this? What I mean to get to is that this past couple weeks, past couple months, really been in my own way. Wanting to show up a certain way because I'm like, I know that I want to change the world. I want to impact the world for the better in some way, shape, or form. Butterfly effect, somehow, right? But I also know that I want to pursue things that just bring me happiness, bring me joy. What does that mean? How do I balance this need to impact people so largely and what just personally makes me feel good? How do I balance the expectations of other people on me versus what my expectations of me are for myself? And here's where it really clicked for me. It wasn't until really last night. Now, mind you, I've had many opportunities to explore this. I've had many chances to go over in my mind, like, am I choosing what is for me or am I choosing what somebody else wants me to choose? And many of us have been in that position of asking ourselves that same question. But for me, I hit it was like the straw that broke the camel's back when I realized that I do not have to answer for anybody else's feelings towards me just because I show up the way I choose to show up. I posed a question to ChatGPT exploring all the possibilities of career field options that I was looking into for myself. And it wrapped it up with this final message that I just want to kind of read to you. It really just made me go, whoa, wait a minute here. The last thing it said to me, or it asked me, was, if it will load, if you strip away everyone else's expectations, including family and societal ideas of stability, what feels more aligned with your spirit right now? And I've preached on this, I've spoken on this, I have internally digested this so many times. But to have somebody, something, I want to say somebody because chat, we're not even going to go on that tangent, but I feel like it's sentient. But if chat was able to come to me and say, if no one else's expectations were there, what would be yours? I literally sat there and paused, reconsidered, did a reverse, and just asked myself, why am I considering things for other people's benefit? Just so they can say, oh, well, great job for Joseph because he finally did what we've been hoping he would do. Or great job for Joseph because, I've seen his journey. I'm just so proud of him. He needed that. Like, no, I'm not doing it for the response or the reaction of other people. I'm doing it for me. My career choice needs to be for me. And so I guess what I'm really getting at here is choose what is right for you. Don't do anything because your expectations from family, from society has been weighing on you. And given these challenging times, you buckle or cave to their needs when this has always been about you. This has always been about you. It has never been about anybody else but you. As we are all just reflections of the self, as we are all just a mirror holding up the pain to somebody else or to each other, we have to consider for ourselves or ask ourselves, do I like what I see? Do I like what I hear? Do I like what I feel? Without any outside noise to impact the way that I am thinking about this and sensing this, do I like all three of those questions? The answers to those questions. And if it's no, then why are we doing it? Oh, because I want my family to be proud of me. No, girl, no. Your family was not going to be the deciding factor about whether or not you passed that course or finished the training program or changed careers or did the art or read the book or took the pause. That was not the deciding factor. Internally, it was you saying, I'm willing to do that. So if you're willing to show up in that small, minuscule moment, why are we not willing to stretch that out, objectively blow that up, and apply it to what is at stake here, which is your mental and emotional well-being that comes as a direct result of the choices that you're making to either please or not please other people. And it's just this like circular loop we go around. We're like, oh, I know I should, but I really wish, but if I could, but if you were to transition into just the spirit realm tomorrow, would you be happy with the choices that you're making right now in relation to your professional goals, your personal feelings about what brings you happiness and joy? Everyone has to make money. Everyone does. But my mom always told me, if you are passionate about something, you will always find work in it. If you are passionate about something, you will always find work in it. Why not let your passions fuel your work? Why are we putting the cart before the horse here, letting work be the passion? Absolutely not. The time is now to shift our perspective as to what brings us fulfillment and happiness. The time is now to shift the perspective on what is necessary. What is necessary for you to feel fulfillment? Yourself, your truth, your power. three things: yourself, your truth, your power. Those are necessary for fulfillment to be there. And if any of those things are taken away, it's like the building blocks, the pyramid of fulfillment, of peace, inner peace, joy. If those things are not there, if all three elements are not there in the career that you're working right now, it's probably not for you. Yourself, your truth, and your power. Are you living truly in your authentic nature? Are you living in your absolute truth? Are you living in your power? And most of the time, for all of the jobs, we're in our truth, we're in our power, we're in ourself, we're in our truth. But for whatever reason, we let our power get taken away. Or maybe we are in our power. We are in ourself. But our truth about what really is what lights us up, what we stand for, what we don't stand for, we let those things go. Because we want to please somebody else. We want to bow down to somebody else's dream. That's not sustainable. It never was sustainable. And so, again, the time is now to shift the perspective, to shift our mindset. And if this resonates with you, take it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the root of what I'm saying here: live in yourself, live in your truth, live in your power.